Hello, my friends, and welcome back. Thank you very much for being with me again today. Well. Israel plans to occupy Gaza, and the Jewish state's government said we're going to do it, but hey, we're not going to do it forever. It's going to be just temporary. We're going to give it back. To whom exactly, I don't know. Now, just so you know, I personally don't care what they do in their little outhouse there. But I care what our people are doing in relation to that outhouse, and I do not like it. What am I talking about? In the context of discussing the massacre of Palestinians over there we have a president of the United States of America who is really unconcerned about the death of, as he calls them, innocent people in Ukraine. And I'm concerned with Donald Trump's myopia. That is, he's not seeing what's going on over there. He knows exactly what's going on over there. But he is very concerned with Ukrainians. Not because Ukrainians are his people or anything like that, forget about that one. It's because he can't move into the outhouse. That would be one of the reasons why I cover this thing today. These are not subjects that YouTube likes very much for people to cover like I cover it, which is telling the other side of the story that they tell. And then the other one, I will tell you how the United States of America, again, our people, are very, very interested in Mr. Maduro. Very interested in Maduro. And they just upped their hit price to $50 million. That is, Mr. Maduro, if you have any information that would lead to capturing of Mr. Maduro, the president of another country, we're going to pay you, we're going to bribe you, give you $50 million. I'm assuming even if you eliminate Mr. Maduro, you still have the $50 million. Don't have to arrest him. This is just a euphemism. It is the of Mr. Maduro. And I'm putting this back to what's going on in Gaza. How many people did Maduro, how many children? I know the media here says that Maduro, how do you call it? He made his own people to eat dogs because they don't have food over there and all that. So that's an economic no-no. We pay $50 million to get that guy out so our industry goes in. That's all what it is, which is energy. And then so we can exploit their resources at will. If Maduro tomorrow says, come in, it's yours, Maduro will be a okay guy. But on the other hand, in the Middle East, in this particular outhouse over there, we support that. We give them money. We give them cover. We give them intelligence. We give them weapons. We give them everything, including their mothers. So let's start with the first article. This is from Russia Today. This is from the 8th of August 2025. Israel to occupy Gaza City. Now, if you are surprised with this statement, you must be 16 years of age or younger, or really don't know anything about anything or about this issue. You do not know anything how these guys are acting. The Security Cabinet has approved Prime Minister Benjamin Netanyahu's plan to seize the enclave's main settlement. Israel's Security Cabinet has approved Netanyahu's plan to seize Gaza City, his office announced on X on Friday. The move could pave the way for a full takeover of the enclave, despite warnings that it could endanger hostages held by Hamas. So, yes, they will take over everything. I would like you to tell me when was the last time and how many times the Jewish state returned territory that it should not have, taken by war, which is illegal under the United Nations Charter. Remember, if we fight and I take territory, let's say you attack me, and I'm stronger, and I take your territory, I take your house. After the hostilities cease, I give you back the house. It's yours, But the problem is, no, I stay there in the Golan Heights and others, even against a United Nations legal binding resolution. I think it's 242. They don't care. Why? Because the guy who wants, or the entity who wants to take Maduro doesn't give a shit about this. Why? He's probably owned by, I don't know, God or something. So, mark my words, these guys do not give back anything. Why? I mean, it was provided by their God. It was promised. All that and more. More being all of us as well. You just have to read their little booklet. So this is the first article. The second one. Israel Security Cabinet OKs Netanyahu plan to occupy Gaza. 1 hour ago today on the 8th. This is Gaza. Right? These are not actors. This is not Bucha in Ukraine or anything like that. These are people. Now, did they do anything about that? Did they do anything about why these guys are reacting in self-defense? Well, self-defense allows you to react in a certain way, not all the way, always. Okay? It's not like a blanche card that you can do whatever you want. And why these guys have to pay for some others? Because of collective punishment, which is perfectly legal for some ideologies and some, I think, even religions. Now, if, let's say, I know that's the way I am. If you attack me, if you punch me one time, I will knock you out. Well, it seems like Israel does the same thing. The problem is he's not knocking out the person who punched him. They're punching everybody else around, the relatives, the people around him. So if you punch me, I punch you. I don't punch your children. Okay? Here it seems to me like these guys don't really give a shit. Compare this tragedy in Palestine or in Gaza, however you want to call it, in the Middle East, if you want, with Ukraine, with our people, and see the proportion. See the proportion of children killed, of the mass starvation, the encirclement of Gaza, blocking aid, water at one point, calling them human animals, and so on. Remember, I think it was Mr. Gallant, was he, who called them human animals. Remember that? So, it was a guy in the 30s, in the 20s and 30s and early 40s who called them by certain kind of names. It seems like they learned to call now others. But hey, Hollywood always portrays them as wiser and more moral than you because they've been through so much. Therefore, they know how it is and they will not do that. All right, let's go to the third article. This is what Netanyahu promises. We don't want to keep Gaza, Netanyahu. I don't think, I don't want to say it anyway. The Israeli Prime Minister has insisted that his country will not govern the Palestine enclave after routing Hamas, leaving the task to Arab nations. Well, this is what I suspect will happen to Gaza. Gaza will have no people, or will have new people. That's what's going to happen to Gaza. The Palestinians will run away because of the conditions created by Hamas, and they will never return. Why? Because they will not be allowed. That's what I suspect. Why? Well, why don't you look into the history and find out there are still refugees right now as a consequence of self-defense. So I think Gaza will be flattened as it is, will be bulldozed. It's not going to be rebuilt as it's going to be bulldozed. The people over there will work probably in, how do you call that, tourism business, which is Trump is going to build some hotels over there, and they will wash dishes and linens and take care of the hotel. And the rest are going to be, somewhere else. Why don't you take them? Why should they go? It's like someone takes over your house, and then you run, And then when you want to come back home, you say, no, 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 you go to the neighbor's house. What are you doing here? Okay, but this is my house. You just took over. Well, we don't want to keep Gaza. Of course, when we finish everything we want to finish in Gaza, you can have it. Now, who's you? We don't want to govern it. It's going to be other people's problem. What do you mean leaving the task to Arab nations? Did you look to see where Gaza is located? Who is only Egypt that has border with Gaza, if I remember correctly. What other nations? Do you think Iran, Arab, those are Persians, but nevertheless, do you think, let's say, Lebanon will do something, or the Syrians will do something? They will govern Gaza? Is that what you think? Do you think the Americans will govern Gaza? And first, I don't believe anything what this big liar is saying. Anything, or I believe nothing. And then we go to this one right here. This is our people. Remember, here, in this case of this guy, Trump, when he says Putin must stop the war, and when he's asked, or he provides the evidence, he's a good-hearted person, a warm, fuzzy person. Trump, I'm talking. He says, I hate seeing innocent people being killed and children. That's why we're going to give Patriot systems to Ukrainians to defend themselves against the attacks on civilian population. That sounds good, but I have another conflict, which is, I think, more ruthless than the one over there, and you don't give a damn about. So that's why I care what our people do, not what those guys in their outhouse, how stinky their shit is. I don't care about that one. So let's go to they should have been left alone a long time ago. And we just take their resources. That would have been, let them have their culture, their traditions, everything they had. But don't invest anything in anything. Let them be going over there, and then from here they move over here, and then from over here. That's fine. We just take your oil. You don't probably know what that even is. As evil as it sounds, the reality is, these kind of things were invented somewhere else. The problem is you sat on those things. And now, these guys have more money than we have. Why? Because they follow orders. So, they pay back now. They pay back in what way? Trump, he says, you gotta invest here. Remember, all these multi-billionaires, we don't know, maybe trillionaires, as they are, let's say, in Saudi Arabia. These guys are allowed to be like that because they pay protection to Al Capone. That's the way Mohammed bin Salman and or the Saud family is still in place, with other people in Qatar, if you want, the rich people, the Arabs, they are allowed to. If the Americans want, all those guys are changed tomorrow. And their money is frozen, and that's it, gone, if they want. And they know it. So, in the meantime, we have to take care of this bad dude. United States of America, that's the entity, the government that represents all of us, decided that it offers $50 million reward for information on Nicolás Maduro. His biggest crime mentioned is this, and don't let your guys be fooled. The sin of Venezuela is this. Venezuela has maybe the biggest oil reserves on this planet. If Venezuela had zero resources, we wouldn't have even heard who Maduro is. So that is the only reason. Now, Maduro and Gaza. We're going to pay $50 million for information that would lead to his arrest. And as I said, I suspect it's not only stopping there. The U.S. Department of Justice and State Department have announced a $50 million reward for information that leads to the arrest of Venezuelan strongman. Not president, he's strongman. But hey, you see, Zelensky Stein in Ukraine, he's president, unelected, but this guy is just a strongman. Now, if Mr. Maduro decides tomorrow to give, let's say, Chevron, the American, one of the America's biggest corporations, energy corporation, oil, if they say, they are already there, But let's say Maduro says everything is yours and forever. Maduro will never be called again strongman. He's going to be invited to the White House. They're going to pay him to come to the White House. Maduro is going to have all kind of interviews. He's going to be like a showman. That's the way these guys did it before, are doing it right now. Look at Zelensky and others. And we'll do it in the future. But we are the just ones. Just us, if you know what I mean. So Maduro, today, and I'm quoting, the U.S. Department of Justice and State Department announced a $50 billion reward. From whose money? From our taxes. Or they're printing the money, which is going to be also our taxes because of the inflation as a result of printing money. Or maybe they're going to borrow it from, I don't know, Rothschild or something. For information leading to the arrest of Nicolás Maduro, Bondi wrote on X, Bondi, why don't you tell us more about Mr. Epstein? Not because Epstein and Trump and all that, oh my God, it was a link of whatever. I would like to know who was behind Epstein. I already kind of know, but, and why? Who blackmailed who? Our ally blackmailed us. That's why we don't see anything over there happening. Is there a connection? I'm just asking questions. I'm not saying it is so. I'm asking questions. And I think it's still legal to ask whatever question you want to ask. It's still legal. You might be fired for asking the wrong question, which is wrong. They don't like it because you say, the emperor has no clothes. And everybody's like, oh, you're fired. Keep the status quo, man. So Maduro is accused. Now, here is Maduro accused of. Maduro is accused of international drug trafficking, corruption. Corruption. That means he can put $50 million on the American politicians and serious human rights abuses. According to Bondi, this is what we say about him. He uses foreign terrorist organizations to funnel drugs and violence into the United States of America. Well, then you should go maybe to Mexico as well and take care of those guys. No, my friends, this is selective justice. This is selective outrage. This is not double standard, triple standard, quadruple standard. That's what it is. So that's why I'm covering these guys. They will take care of over Gaza. They will, and they will say, now it's you to rebuild it with our bankers' money. Thank you very much. And you are going to manage it. But we're going to allow these guys to return only when they're going to work in the hotel business. You know what I mean? Washing, serving. Yes, sir. How are you doing? That's the level these guys want to drop the Palestinians. And they did even worse than that. Thank you very much for being with me again today. Don't be surprised. Do not be surprised. You know, if you're good, that means you're good at everything. So those guys in 1930s and 40s in Germany, you know, they were evil. But they were not good at evilness and other people who are even better than, you know what I mean? That's why don't give a task to an intelligent guy. If the task is negative, he's going to find you the most negative consequences out of that guy's brain. That's why shallow people are not that dangerous. They're violent, let's put it this way, I'm exaggerating, I'm generalizing, if you know what I mean. They will be able to just come and strangle you. But the other guys will think of things with your family, with your culture, with your ancestors that are already buried. They will think of many, and in the future as well, they will have a more dynamic and sophisticated mind to hurt you. Whereas the other guys, no. All right, my friends. Thank you very much for being with me again today. Stay strong, stay smart, look for the truth, and be just.